It's your boy Dane, back again, talking in the realm of hoops. The NBA trade deadline is today. Mark it down, February 7th, 2019 was the year of the chaos. Few trade deadlines had the year of the chaos, but I want to use this chaotic sequence of events we see today and this trade deadline day to compare the trade of human commodity of today to the trade of human commodity of yesterday, of years before us. And I know a lot of y'all looking at this video off rip right now is Dame, I know you're not saying these athletes are slaves. I know that's not what you're saying. They're not slaves. You're crazy. It's not the same. From perspective's point of view, I concur. It's not the direct same as slavery, getting lashed on your back, being unpaid workers, being owned by owners. It's not the same. But you have to draw the comparisons. And the comparisons, I mean, yes, the unpaid facet is not the same, but the owned facet is still the same. Now you go from being paid, unpaid workers to paid workers. Key point being, you're still a worker and you're still essentially owned by an owner. That's why they call themselves owners. So when an owner signs you, they own the rights to you in a lot of ways. One way is your freedom of speech, to say what you want to say. These players, and shout out to LeBron, because they have to move to another platform like Instagram, like some social media outlet, and it's always against the agent's wishes. You talk about being controlled mentally, and you talk about conspiring as far as MK Ultra and mind control, but they have agents that control what they put out and what they think and how they react to certain things. So you just talk about a subtle form of mind control with the players. They all have agents that do and tell them how to navigate around this world. You never really think about it from that aspect, from a thinking perspective. They're subject to their agent's thoughts. But aside from that, you talk about they have to go to different platforms to speak their piece. And they still have to touch it up a bit, and you'll see them retract their statements. So in that aspect of the old workers, the unpaid workers, the slaves, and the paid workers, you still can't say what you want. You're still marginalized. You're not autonomous when you work for Mark Cuban. And I bring up the subsequent events because you have the Anthony Davis saga, and they talking about sitting them down. Like you said, I'm about to sit you down, even though he wants to play. So this is my team. This is the team I own. I have ultimate decisions. So Anthony Davis is going to file a grievance because he feels it's infringing on his liberty, which may not work depending on whatever contract he signed. That's another difference. There's unwilling slaves previously, and there's willing slaves because you get compensated, right? So it's not slavery exactly, but it's analogous. You pay to have your rights signed away. This goes for artists, anybody trying to get a record deal. Once you sign a contract, sift through that contract, have other people assist you through that contract to see what it really entails. You say some shit on social media and it breaches your contract, and next thing you know, you cut. But we're talking about trade deadline and the comparison in that aspect. Think about trade. Think about when you see them all on the board. Anthony Davis, Kuzma, Ball. You see them all on the board getting moved around to see how the trade can manifest. Slaves. When auctions were about, you're propping up these slaves as, okay, this is my strong. This is my 16-year-old young runner, go-getter. That's my highest commodity. Same thing you doing when you put Anthony Davis on that board and talk about trading 3 young paid workers for him. You talk about the comparisons in other aspects. They don't have a choice where they're traded to. So Lonzo Ball can demand all he wants, but if he gets traded to fucking Pelicans, he gets traded to Pelicans, not his choice. He can use his will to speak and do what he wants. LeVar gonna talk. He could use his will. They could use their will. I believe in will to an extent, but it's some things you can't undo, like them contracts. So they can trade you at their whim. Slavery, unpaid workers. They traded families, separated them. Here, they paid for you. So it is what it is. And think about it. It was legal back then. You have to keep up with the paradigm and see how the paradigm either shifts or it just disguises itself as a new paradigm when it's not so much. This is still a form of slavery, in my opinion. No, it's not slavery, the one Nat Turner was rebelling against. It's slavery, the one LeBron James has to go on Instagram and let you niggas know, don't call a spade a spade. When we demand, when we're free agents, finally free, think about that. When you're under contract, they don't say you're free. Think about the comparisons. When you're a slave, you're not free. Free agents, they don't have no team, no contract, they're finally free, and they choose to do whatever the fuck they want. They get ridiculed. They're the object of ridicule. But when Mark Cuban cuts this nigga Harrison Barnes at halftime, and he got this face like, fuck, I just got cut. Like, what am I even going to do? Like, shit, I got to move. Y'all don't factor that. Y'all never say these owners are fucked up. When to me, they treat you like stock. If Harrison Barnes couldn't shoot a lick, nigga, fuck Harrison Barnes to them. They don't give a fuck about him as a being. They traded him at halftime. I was disgusted, and shout out to LeBron again for using his individual platform to say, look at this shit. They treat us like shit a lot. You get cut. Your families have to move. Y'all don't factor that. Nigga, you don't have to move all the time. Your family's got to move when you get traded. Excuse me. Your kids got to enroll in different schools. So it's a lot of things about these contracts, and all of y'all niggas will omit these analogies that you can't deny that I'm putting in front of you because they're getting money. That's the fundamental difference in everything. They're getting paid and they're willing. I never said they were unwilling slaves. I just said this comparison to slavery is not something to be ignored. Just look at the trades. Look at the trade deadline today. What goes on, what transpires today. Anthony Davis can say what he wants, but Pelicans got the end decision in his fate, where he lives for the next 6 months. Lonzo Ball can say what he wants, but Lakers can do what they want. It's a system and a structure. I think it's analogous to the old slavery. And then, in regards to the trade deadline, if there's anything else, well, no, there's not much else. All the players really can do is use their own individual platforms to express themselves and hopefully hinder the process that they can't control. They can't control to the maximum. They can say something like Lonzo, but I don't want to go to Pelicans. So maybe that'll prompt Pelicans to not sign him. But as far as the ultimate decision, it's in the hands of the owners. What does it take? What does it take to combat that ownership? The acts of rebellion. So you paid workers out there, whether you're artists, whether you work a 9 to 5 and your boss is giving you bullshit, whether you're an NBA player and they not trying to do whatever you want to do or not compromise because you're under contracts, well, there's a form of rebellion, but today it's different. You got to go through legalities. You got to know what you're signing. You got to be aware that your will said that you were committed to whatever they're doing to you. So you got to read these contracts before you get into them. I mean, it's good sometimes to be a free agent. But yeah, that's 9 minutes, almost 10 minutes. You know how I do. Don't want it to be 35 minutes. Don't want to ramble on. I don't have no notes with me right now, so just off the top of the dome. I want to know y'all thoughts on the NBA, the rap industry, the NFL, any sports where you, or any job. You sign on, so you're willing, but you're still owned in a sense. Dang.